Week 44 of reselling online. Now, if you are new here, this is what I've been doing for the last 44 weeks. I have been learning from zero of how to actually make somewhat of a living selling on eBay. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about, of how I've done it, how I'm doing it, what's working, what's not, the wins, the losses, all that jazz. And this week, actually, it's been a more consistent week. It's actually been a lack of a roller coaster ride, which is usually the cliche of a week. But also I've had a few weird and wonderful items that have sold, and it always surprises me what you can sell and what people are willing to pay or willing to buy. And with a bit of research, a bit of trial and error, you can do this too. So let's jump into it. So top item number one. Now this one is a Charizard from the 25th Celebrations set of Pokemon, the trading card game. And the reason why it cost me $59 is I purchased one of the collector boxes which came with the figurine of Fat Pikachu. And so that cost me around $59. I had some discounts and I pulled this card. This is the second time I've pulled this card. So I wasn't going to keep it, I was going to sell it. So I sold it for $210. That's including postage. And after fees, I profited $106. It actually paid up pretty good on this one. Top item number two was this Halo Wars limited edition Xbox 360 game. This has come from that video game haul and it's cost me around $4.50, sold it for $110 and profited $87.82. Top item number three. Wow, this is Punch Out from Wii, also from that video game haul. Cost me $4.50, sold it for $109 after fees and postage. That was $79.99 profit. Here's a bit of a different item, basically a vintage sterling silver knife and fork set. This is actually from a family item, so there was no cost to the business on this one, but we sold it for $80, profiting $69.84. Burn Notice, this is from my own collection. This is something that I listed back in, I think it was March at the start of this year. It's been sitting around for a very long time. These are all brand new, so there is no cost to the business for this. Obviously there was a cost for it way back when I purchased it, but to the business, there's no cost at charge. So sold this for $59. Plus postage, so I profited $49.53. Now, before we jump into the flops, the wins, the lessons, and all that jazz, you're probably asking, Chris, what about the video game haul? How is that progressing? Well, last week I talked about that I did purchase a video game haul, and this week it's been a lot more sales of just video games and all those related items, but I'm going to show you up on screen of how much money we have actually made back from that. This is the percentage at the time of this video of how much I have made back or how much I'm in the profit. And look, once again, this doesn't mean this will always happen for everyone, but I think the key thing here was getting it listed, and it's been fun to be able to list it and get it listed and sell it. And I've been selling it through Facebook, I've been selling it through my own personal community, I've been selling it via eBay and things like that. So leverage, if you are going to get those big hauls, make sure you leverage all those opportunities, whether it is eBay, the different platforms, Facebook, privately, through your own network, because that's how you're going to move things a lot quicker. Plus, you're going to save on some of the fees as well. So, flops, wins, lessons. Well, in terms of flops, there wasn't really any big issues this week. It's just been a pretty consistent, and I'm pretty happy with the week actually. Lessons, I have been thinking about scaling, time, and storage, and these have been some big things on my mind for this week, and more so because, well, I did a bit of a cleanup and I had to shuffle some things around and realize that there's a lot of stuff here that I don't like doing, and there's a lot of things which I can do a lot better. And if I want to grow, how am I going to scale? So I'm about to work through and reorganize, restructure in terms of how I'm storing my items and get some shelving units to make my time a little bit more efficient when it comes down to picking and packing. Now, the picking doesn't actually take that long. I know where everything is. Probably, one in every 60 items is a little bit of an adventure, or I guess a bit of a puzzle to solve. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure it's even more efficient, reorganize, restructure, because if I want to do this at a bit more fast pace, a bit more scale, I need to make sure I am doing it with a bit more efficiency. And that's the same with, also posting and things like that, making sure now that I'm sending so many DVDs or video games via untracked postage mailer bags, how am I ensuring that I can print out labels so I don't have to worry about writing it out, because that takes a lot of time. The other thing is how I plan to, after Christmas, see if I can bring the second half of the FY home strong and consistent around, can I be increasing ASP? Do I have to be selling as many items? Do I need to be spending so much time on sourcing and listing and all that jazz? And just working out what's going to be working for me, because obviously I'm still doing a lot of other things in my life. Yes, this is my full-time gig, but I'm probably only working on it part-time, and I'm trying to achieve a few other things in my lifestyle and work on a few other side hustles, my podcast and things like that. So yeah, just that's what's really been going on in my head. And, I guess reflecting on that, the wins have been because of the consistent sales and the things that are working this week and how much I'm enjoying it. It gives me that opportunity to be able to move forward, scale, and see what else I can do. So how did we go for this week? It's been another high week, not the best week, but a very, very high week. We've done a sales total of 63 items, ASP being around $26.90, margin sitting at 66.37%, cost of goods were sitting at around $229. That's cost of goods sold, meaning how much did I pay for the items that I've sold just this week. And I've sold just shy of $1,700 worth and profited $1,122 worth. If you have a look over to the side at all the items that have sold, video games being 28, books being 13, and DVDs being 14. So they're still my big sellers. Obviously before the video game haul, I wasn't selling many video games and it was mainly books and DVDs, but we've had a few bric-a-brac, collectibles, electronics and toys go through this week as well. And there's some of the weird and wonderful stuff that's been selling. The other thing I wanted to mention here is the average cycle time for these items is still 44 days, which is interesting because a lot of the books that have sold are items that I've had for, more than 44 days. And the video games are stuff that I've had in the last, week and a half. But it just still goes to show that you still need a little bit of time of things moving. Imagine if I was selling this stuff in 20 days, if I was selling this stuff in weekly amounts, but it's not going to necessarily work like that. Sometimes you need to pump through your store, get the stuff listed. There's going to be the hot ticket items that will move quickly, but others, people are buying it based on Christmas. People are buying things based on presents. People are buying things based on a want or need, or when things come out, or when it gets promoted in a broader perspective or on a macro environment and what markets to them, and then gives them that incentive to go purchase or influences them to go purchase. So rolling view for this week. Well, we're sitting at $1,691. So as you can see that we are charging back up in terms of sales consistency. The numbers in terms of dollars that we're doing is pretty high as well, and we're keeping pretty consistent. So average has moved from $924 up from $906. So that's an average week for me. If keeping it at around $1,000 a week is pretty solid, it would be nice to get that obviously a lot higher, because we still have a long way to go until we get to our 100K revenue goal. Then we have the stats for this week in terms of how much items I've listed, how much I've been selling. So I've listed 108 items, that's roughly 15 per day, and average 9 sales per day, which is one of the highest weeks I've had. And here's that weekly flow. It's not a roller coaster. As you can see, we did have a bit of a dip, and then it's been pretty consistent the entire week, which this is what I like to see. If I could do this almost every week, starting to get close to what would represent or reflect $100,000 within a single year. You need roughly about $274 every day for 365 days to hit $100,000. Speaking of $100,000, this is where we're at. So we have jumped back up again. We're at $38,987, getting very close to that $40,000 target. And it's been a great journey to be able to learn and how long this is actually taking. Of course, I wanted to see if I could do $100,000 because I wanted to test myself. I wanted to push myself. We're not giving up. We're going to keep proceeding. We'll see where we get to at 31st of December. Obviously, I didn't start at exactly the start of this year in terms of tracking this goal, but we're going to charge anyway. We'll see how long it then really does take. Time for some show and tell. Let's have a look at what's been happening through the week, some of the sales, different things. Yeah. Let's get through it. All right, team. Excuse the mess, but it's Friday morning. It's 11 o'clock. Just finished doing a video edit, and all the sales have come through there that I'm going to pack and get out ASAP this morning, or probably this afternoon. And I just want to take you through all the stuff that I sold, just to show you that there's a few random different stuff. Obviously, a lot of video games, but this one, Intel i5 Core, sold as parts, not working because I can't test it, but they purchased it for the fans. So I got $20 for this guy. A whole bunch of Kinder Surprise toys. That one for $15. This guy is a sterling silver, I think, knife set, and knife and fork set. We've got a whole bunch of books. We've got Super Diaper Baby 2. We've got
The Queen of the Damned and Agatha Christie first edition. This one went for $28. This guy went for $18. This guy went for $21. ACDC, this was from one of the first lots I ever listed. I got 25 bucks for that. Picked this up for $2 from an op shop. Got a couple of SpongeBob's, The Fifth Element, Brown Boys, and V for Vendetta. These are all between $10 to $20 a pop. Video games. This is where it gets exciting. Lord of the Rings sold this for $16. Borderlands sold this for $14. This guy I think was $16. This guy was around $14. Halo Wars limited edition sealed, that I got $110 for. Mario Kart $33 plus postage. Punch Out, this one sold this morning for $109. Didn't even get offer, just bang straight out. So it's in for about a week and a half. So pretty good, guys. It's pretty good Fridays. So here's a random one for you. This is a Woodstock pepper shaker, all the way from Japan actually. And funny story with this one, so I think it was around $2 or $5 online, and this was during lockdown. I needed to get some more goods, so I actually purchased from one of the op shops online. And this wasn't the main reason I was purchasing it, but what I had to do was purchase something else of $5 or $10 worth, and this was one of them, to get the free postage. So I ended up buying an Xbox and a few other things, and this helped me get over the free postage mark. So basically I had to pay $10 for this from an average cost of goods perspective. However, I've just sold this for $19 plus $9.15 postage. So I've made all my money back in some, so can't really complain, but it just goes to show that anything you can sell. This is literally a pepper shaker. I can't believe it. But just going through the Sunday sales and weekend sales, and this is everything that I'm shipping out or just about to package up. So I've got 4 of these games, all purchased individually but by one person, so bundled them up. There's probably must be about $87 worth there. That Simpsons game went for 50 bucks, gave him a bit of a cheaper deal. We've got some more games, Driver, Alan Wake. These guys are basically just going between $9 and $18. North and South, that went for $29. This guy went for $12. Budgies went for $19. Book there underneath Woomera, that went for $42. That's including post. Crystal Handbook, that guy went for $19. Millie, Molly and Mandy went for $16 plus postage. Gears of War, just a cheap game, I think it was around $9. This guy ended up going for around $29, $30 I think. Furby, that one went for around $47, that's including postage. And have managed to sell a bunch of Wii parts. There is a working Wii in there, but some of the controllers were a bit dodgy. That one went for 50 bucks. So quite a few things have gone pretty well, guys. A lot of video games. Oh, and this one, Mutant League. Fun story on this one. So I picked this up from a thrift shop for $5. And it's just the case. And this guy has gone for a flat 50, including postage. So very happy with that. So lots of interesting things. Let's pack it all up.
All right, now perspective is everything. And this is where I just like to go through some of the key numbers around sales, profit, revenue, and margin, just to show you perspectively how things are tracking. And this has really been a big game changer for me over the last 4 to 5 weeks of helping me, especially coming out of the lockdown and grinding through that, of what a week looks like and what does that mean. So this week we've had 63 sales, which is my second best week ever. And looking at the top 10, yeah, it's come in at second in general, but I've done 44 weeks now, and to be hitting some of my higher weeks in my later weeks makes so much more sense because I'm learning so much more. Revenue, we've come in around 1,691, so we're 4th in my total ranking, which is still pretty good. Profit has been ranked as number 2 out of the 44 weeks, which is great because I've come in with $1,122, and this is what I'd like to see is sometimes the revenue can be a little lower compared to the other weeks, but if the profit's up, hey, that's what I want because I want to be able to save, I want to be able to invest, and I want to be able to pay my bills and all that jazz. And then margin for this week, we're sitting at around 66.37%, which is, ranked number 4 out of the 44 weeks, which is still very consistent. So what can you expect this week? Well, Wednesday, I will have another video, whether it's reselling Pokemon, something in between, wait and see. Saturday, I will have week 25 of my 50k training plan, which is so close to finishing. Sunday, I have my next podcast episode, so you can jump on over to the Further Your Lifestyle podcast if you want, over on YouTube, or just jump over to Spotify, all those great places. And then, will there be a live this week? If there is, it'll probably be Wednesday or Thursday again, likely just opening up some Pokemon cards. Really depends if some mail arrives and things like that. So either way, you can jump over to my community tab, you can see it on screen, and every week, every Wednesday, I actually do a bit of a shout out to a different YouTuber or something that I watched and I'm encouraging others to go see. I also give updates on an irregular basis around, a live stream or things that are coming up. So jump over there, don't miss out on different things. I also chuck out a few different polls and surveys and things too. So if you want to get involved and interact, great place to do it. Well, that is it, team. That is week 44 for the reselling gig, and it's been a very interesting journey to get to this point, and now I'm at a point where I'm really starting to weigh up what makes sense to proceed further. I love thrifting, don't get me wrong. I want to get out and thrift, and I've picked up a few cool things, as you've seen this week, but at the same time is of the essence in terms of what I'm wanting to do, and I've got a few things coming up in 2022 which I'll be launching and doing, which is not reselling related, and I want to be able to make sure I can give that time. Reselling gives me that flexibility. Reselling gives me that chance to be able to do the different things at the different times that I want to do it. And it also gives me an income at 24/7 pace rather than just fixed to a certain time box. So I want to flex that more and more. If I can get more deals in terms of, whether it's bulk deals or from deceased estates or people moving or whatever, that's going to enable me to give a little bit more time back into my pocket. But at the same time, I need to be able to store that, I need to be able to manage that and make sure that that's working efficiently too. So a few things going through on my mind. Of course, this is something that I think we all go through, whether you're starting at zero, you're halfway, or if you're hitting your big goals at the moment. It's always something to be changing, it's always something to be adapting, and also something that you want to reflect and see if there's some new areas of growth and change. Really do appreciate you being here. If you've got questions, chuck them down in the comments below. More than happy to continue the conversation. And make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do the whole shebang, and hustle. Ciao.